Now, it's interesting, and I think it's important to understand also that the inefficiency that exists within the airspace and the management of that doesn't only affect companies and people, it does also affect the planet in terms of sustainability. And actually, at our steering board this morning, Airlines agreed to take a lead in the development of sustainable targets together with the wider EU aviation industry. And this roadmap will be focused on limiting carbon emissions as a better means to support the EU goals. And we believe that the EU and the European aviation can and should lead the way in driving further improvements in carbon efficiency. Now, the airlines in the EU are already doing a lot of things. A new study found that the EU airlines have saved some 20 million tons of CO2 emissions in the last 5 years. And that's equivalent of the emissions from 1.6 million intra-EEA flights, or 100 days worth of flying. We continue to invest in research and development innovations such as electric planes, hybrid engines and sustainable fuels alongside the current next generation of aircraft. But R&D work also needs to be better funded and supported by the EU. We need smart policies as well to provide the right incentives for investments in cleaner aircraft. We also need the manufacturers to be more ambitious in delivering more fuel-efficient aircraft in the longer term. Now, we heard it before, and I'll repeat it here again, that Europe's airspace inefficiencies impact not only the airlines and our customers, but also our planet. Implementing the single European sky would deliver at least a 10% reduction, and that's very conservative, in CO2 emissions, for example. So the current roadblocks that we're seeing are undermining the EU airline sustainability efforts and need to be urgently addressed. Carsten.
No, again, not
Pieter. we all want Carsten.
Yeah, just to further build on that, when it comes to investments made by airlines, we just demonstrated in the introduction by Johann that a lot has been done already by the airlines in moving forward in making aviation a more green aviation. And the number of savings in a total of 20 million tons of CO2 emissions which have been done is really the way forward. We believe it should be the way forward. Rather than investing, in fact, we have been confronted with a growing tendency of taxation, over taxation, over taxation. And as such, we do believe that green aviation taxes are not a silver bullet for the environment, but in fact are doing precisely the contrary. And to preserve connectivity for the EU and all the national governments, we believe that we should focus, as aviation business is a global business, we should focus on global solutions, and Corry is really the sole vehicle as a CO2 tackling issue for aviation. Secondly, aviation taxes will eventually negatively impact the European economies and jobs. First of all, they are not helping the environment. Secondly, it's just a negative impact on jobs. So whereas we do believe that we should invest in it rather than tax it, investing will bring us forward and help us to invest in things like biofuel, more environmental friendly routes. The examples given this morning here when it comes to air traffic delays and the enormous amount of delays and in fact inefficient flying, implementation of SMS, single European skies, as you mentioned, will do 10%. That's much more than any taxation would ever realize or would ever help us. So we would call for the authorities to join hands and invest together in making aviation more sustainable rather than bluntly taxing it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, finally, Carsten.
Thanks, Pieter. I feel the pressure.